Hey, it's Josephine from ThePointeShop, and I'm with Skylar Brandt from ABT, and she's going to show us her pointe shoes and some of her cool pointe shoe hacks. We're at Steps on Broadway in New York City, and we're just hanging out here in this empty, beautiful studio talking about pointe shoes.
Yes.
So tell us what kind of pointe shoes you have.
So I wear custom order Capezios, and it's funny because my friends always ask me, you know, how long do you wear a pair of pointe shoes, because they never see me sewing.
Right.
My feet aren't the most flexible feet, and so I can usually wear a pair of pointe shoes for like 3 weeks.
That's crazy.
One pair for every rehearsal, every show.
So do you hoard the shoes? Like, what do you do when you get extra shoes?
Well, the pointe shoe woman, Tomoko, at ABT, she loves me because I never am bothering her for any pointe shoes. I get like one bag a year, and I'm like, okay, see you next year. It doesn't really matter what I'm wearing, whether it's new or soft, or I'm like not picky or finicky.
That's so crazy, because everyone's like so exact about their pointe shoes.
Yeah.
Yours, oh my gosh, your shoe woman must love you.
Yeah.
I would love you to be your shoe woman.
So yeah, no, it's pretty fortunate, because I don't even really have to pick, oh, what pair am I going to wear for this act or this. I mean, I'll just wear the same pair of shoes for 3 acts.
It's insane.
Performance, and
that's very rare. That's very rare. Do not expect this.
I know. I feel bad for my friends who go through like a pair after one ballet class.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
You know, then again, my feet are like not going to break a shoe. I mean, they're strong, but they're not that flexible.
Maybe you're just like floating in your pointe shoes, you know, like just inside it. Let's see how hard your shoes are, though.
So
that's a brand new pair.
Here, this is a brand new pair that I have. I'll show you how I prepare them.
Are.
I know they're so funny because
big.
they don't look tiny to me, but
because it's your size.
Yeah,
this is my hand. Oh, and it's completely like, because it's custom. There's nothing on there. There's like no serial number. There's no anything. Yeah. So you think that this is on like a glissé last?
I think so. Either glissé or élan.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. I do make a couple of specifications where I asked, and I'm still kind of working with, you know, experimenting with my shoes and trying to get different trial pairs.
Yes.
But what I like about what the pair that I have now is they kind of do a little swoop. They scoop so that it shows more of the instep, I suppose. It's like lower on the sides, so you can see more instep, but then you never worry about the heel slipping off.
Yes.
Which is like a really big fear of mine. I mean, I definitely rosin, you know, put my heel in the rosin box whenever I go on stage, but just having that extra height and then the swoop.
Yeah, so right where the waist seam is, it dips down a little bit so that it shows off her feet a little bit more. But yeah, the heel is quite high. Normally Capezios, they cut their heel pretty low, even for like a stock shoe.
Yeah.
So if you have problems with your heel slipping off, that's like a pretty low heel.
Yeah.
So you raise it even.
Yes.
So you raise it tiny
bit.
So you can see it kind of like swoops up. But this, the shoe that she customizes, the glissé is actually, it's discontinued. So you can't get the glissé anymore, but obviously if you're a ballerina at ABT, you can still get them. What other customs do you have on these?
I try to, I guess, taper them a little bit, the littlest bit, and I think that there's a trick that they can do in the factory where they can sort of hammer the outside so that it looks more tapered versus actually making the shoe tapered itself.
In the inside, right?
Yes, on the inside, so they kind of hammer the outside so that it has the appearance that it's tapered. Which for me, I have a small foot, so I want them to look bigger actually and look more elongated. And part of that, I guess, magic trick would be to have a more tapered shoe.
Yes. So the downside to that is that it's a little bit harder to balance if you taper it on the outside. So basically when the pointe shoe is being made, it's made on top of a last. So it has like the mold that they build the shoe on top of. So the inside is actually the same. And glissé is quite a wide shoe. It's a wide shoe inside. And then I guess she tapers it in just for that look, but the inside feels the same.
Yes. Yeah, it's something, for me personally, I like the feeling that my foot is sort of sinking into the shoe. It just makes me feel more connected and grounded versus some shoes are so tapered that you're kind of pulled out of the shoe. So for me, I don't know if it's because it's what I've always worn. I've always been a Capezio girl, and so ever since I was a little kid, I guess, yeah, my shoes changed over time, but I like that feeling of feeling like I'm all the way in the shoe.
Yes. So a lot of people, I think, who are professionals, they like that because you have more control over your shoes, and you feel more like you can articulate your feet a little bit more if you're closer to the floor, if you're closer to your shoe. A lot of dancers in training, because it hurts, they want to be lifted.
Right.
Like, I don't want any feeling on my toes at all. So so the more tapered it is, the more lifted you are off the floor. But it is easier, I think, to kind of use your feet.
Yes, yeah, definitely. It's like your foot slides all the way into the shoe, so you're able to manipulate it well.
Yeah.
I also don't have a nail here. These are 3/4 shoes, so yeah, I have only one nail at the top of my shoe.
Yeah. Do you do anything to
Yes.
adjust it?
So basically, and it's funny because Capezio could totally already make this a specification for me, but as my point shoe lady says, I'm bonding with my shoes when I do this. What I like to do, and it makes my mom nervous every time, which I understand why, is I basically take this part and I break it all the way like this, and then I will cut half of my shank out, basically. So it's like there's almost nothing there, and I have my box cutter from Home Depot, and I'll just like...
This is frightening to watch.
Yeah, it is really frightening. But...
So you almost cut out half of your shoe.
Yeah.
So she really is just dancing with this part of the shoe right here. So a lot of people, when they 3/4 it, it's up here, but Skylar wants it down there, but I think that's where your foot breaks.
Yep. So basically, I just, this much of the
That's a
shank,
lot of shoe.
and then I'm just kind of like...
So this is this is a testament to how strong Skylar is, because you really don't need any support. Just like she's dancing just in like this part of the shoe, like there's like nothing back there.
Yeah.
So
and it's funny
really
because people
strong.
always ask me, they're like, doesn't this part cut into your foot, into your heel? And for some reason, I think because my feet aren't the most flexible, and because I cut it high up enough, it just exactly hits my
Your
heel
foot.
where, and I never feel this part. I don't put anything over it. It's like a shard of whatever this is.
It's quite high.
Yeah.
And it's pretty thick. So the fact that you don't do anything, usually people either tape it down or they'll take the sock liner, they'll put the sock liner back on
over.
there. But wow, if it doesn't bother you.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me.
See, this would be blister city for most people.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, but this is amazing. It's amazing that you're just dancing in half of a shoe.
Yeah.
This is it.
I know, and it's a wonder, again, that they don't die for me that quickly. I mean, granted,
Strength.
I can dance in anything, but I mean, yeah, that's kind of... Then what I'll do is I'll take off my shoe.
Okay, I have to show you guys this though.
I'll take off both.
Look what it says! So she got these at Paris Opera.
Yes.
I need these.
I know. It
Plie, jeté.
was like the best thing I ever got.
Seriously, this is like the cutest.
So
I might just customize my own sneakers.
Totally. So what I do then is I'll just like step on the box to kind of flatten it. And that's about everything that I do to my point shoe before I sew them.
Yeah. Do you darn them at all?
I don't darn them.
Just soft box.
Soft box. And
Half a shoe.
yeah.
Half a shank. You probably have all these shoes left over from the season to use during your off season too.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. I know. It's really lucky because when ABT is not in season and we don't have access to shoes anymore, it's great because I still have a supply for my summer gigs and everything.
Exactly.
So that, I don't have to go and buy my own shoes. So what I like to use are these like flexor ribbons, which kind of just gives a little bit, I guess, less tension for your Achilles.
Yes.
I think it's protective of that. And I wrap elastic or ribbons around more times than a lot of other people, which I can
You just go
like,
around
show
your
you.
ankle more?
So I go around my ankle more, and I usually have one that's longer than the other. So like these will go on one pair of shoes, and then I'll have a similar thing on the other pair, but opposite.
Yes.
Sewing them opposite. And yeah, and then I just use one elastic. I know
Yeah.
some people like to crisscross or whatever the case, and I'll just put them in the
one
back
elastic.
here. And again, because I'm paranoid and psycho about my heel coming off,
That's a nightmare.
I'll put them farther back. I actually use waxed floss, and it's minty, so that's awesome.
Keep your point shoes minty. She doesn't really do much except cut out half the shoe. And then she steps on the box, so the box is really soft. And then she sews on her point shoes with dental floss. And that's about it. She's super low maintenance and super easy to work with.
Thanks.
Yeah, and her feet are really low maintenance too because she doesn't get blisters.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous. And she likes her shoes pretty roomy, I think, for a
Yes.
professional dancer. I think this is what a lot of dancers like when, you know, you want a little bit more space when you're like growing up.
Yes,
But
true.
yeah, but
I
then
never grew up.
her feet stayed the same. So yeah, that's how she prepares her point shoes for rehearsal on stage, and she doesn't go through that many pairs of point shoes. So
Nope. Yep, and then I wrap it around
A couple
few
times.
and then I always tie. I know people have different preferences as to where they tuck their ribbons in. Some people do it here. I like to do it in this little soft spot, and then I just tuck it in. And then when I go on stage, I'll put a clear Band-Aid in to hold the ribbons in so I don't have any ribbons popping out. And that's it.
yeah, easy. Well, thank you so much for showing us your point shoe hacks.
My pleasure.